You Google her name and you see the tennis results, the Wikipedia page, the photos from her professional tennis career, and whatever else TMZ can find on her. But what is a star like behind all the photos, the accolades, and the paparazzi? Genie shares her insights on her transition from tennis to pickleball, her views on some of the rules, and we dig into some of her controversial social media posts. And she also makes an announcement for her new signature paddle. This is the story of Genie Bouchard. How was that match?
Crazy.
It looked sweet.
God, adrenaline's still up from the match. So.
How'd you get paired up with Yates?
He asked me to play. So basically, at the beginning of the year, no one wanted to play with me because I was not good. And now I'm slowly starting to get more partner requests. So that's making me feel better about myself and, giving me confidence that I've maybe improved a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And I watched the last event where you played with Blaine.
Yeah.
And then you had like a really good comeback match against the Jansen and Jensen.
Yes.
That was super sweet. That match was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played.
That was crazy.
Yeah, you played great.
I want to say I played better than Blaine in that match. I told him that.
Yeah, you did. I'll clip that for him. No, I mean, you just made like a bunch of really, really good decisions. Like the execution will come, but I think like the biggest part is just those decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, it's just about, for me, like having the reps to execute them on a daily basis and in the pressure moments as well.
Yeah. What are you going to do about the backhand overhead?
Yeah, I know. I missed 2 of those today. I think my partner should run for that. So I don't feel like I need to work on that at all because the guy, he's a dude, he should go get it.
Yeah. That's mixed.
They're stronger, they're faster. He's going to get there faster than me. Like, that's all. And then he'll be on like the forehand side, and I'm on the backhand side, and it's more awkward. So I think every single lob, considering how small a pickleball court is compared to a tennis court, I think every single lob, the guy should go get it.
Yates definitely could have gone. He's quick.
Yeah, he's super quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to actually tell him that for tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, before we go any further into this episode, I do need to make a quick shout out to my sponsors because without them, and of course you guys, none of this would be possible. You all are already familiar with Viore. Viore is my favorite brand. I'm wearing Viore shorts right now. I'm wearing the core shorts, but love Viore. Love the product. I meet tons of people in the community that are wearing Viore shorts and products as well. And if you happen to be one of those people that love the product because it's super comfortable, or maybe you like the color, maybe you like the fabric, or maybe you like the mission of the brand, then go to viore.com/buildingpickleball and you'll receive 20% off your first purchase. There's free shipping on any orders of $75 or more, and they do free returns. I always see you traveling, you go skiing, you ride horses, you go golfing, you go skeet shooting. What do you like to do in your off time when you're not playing?
That's a good question. I feel like I've been so busy recently, I don't even have that much off time. Some of those activities are partly sometimes at tournaments or events that I'm at. But when I do have some time off, the most important for me is family. So this year, the skiing was in Aspen for me and my twin sister's 30th birthday party. So we had our whole family get out there, and that was really sweet. Because I travel so much, I don't get to see them as much as I would like. And so making an effort to kind of make trips like that makes up for it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've seen your mom helps you tape up your ankles. Your dad has fed you balls when there's a video of you shorter than the net. And then you text with your grandma and you've done ab crunches during Christmas. You've just talked about family. What does the relationship mean to you and how does it impact your career?
Yeah, so I have 3 siblings, so we're 4 kids, we're a family of 6, and so we've always been super close, and we find it very important to get together for Christmas and special events, and I just think, especially sibling relationships are so important because they're the ones you have your whole life, right? Your parents will, not live as long as you, and then you are only going to have kids, a third into your life, so sibling relationships are actually people that you will literally know the longest, and so I really try to stay close with all my siblings, and like I said, it's hard with my travel, but, we like to do crazy stuff at Christmas. We make my grandma take tequila shots. We eat so much that we feel sick, and then we're okay, we got to work out. So we start doing abs, and we're just kind of a crazy bunch. But it's so fun when we get together. Yeah.
Your sister doesn't have any resentment towards you that you're the better tennis player?
She had her chance, okay? So we both started at age 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she gave up when, 6 or something?
Yeah, she retired at age 6. That's what I say all the time to people. And, she just didn't love it. She didn't like it. And later on in life, she looked at my mom and she'd be like, why didn't you, force me to keep playing? When she saw, the success I had or the perks in life I started getting. And my mom was like, I was not going to force a 6-year-old who didn't want to play tennis to play tennis. And I'm like, also there was a lot of hard work. Like
Yeah.
there's no guarantee you would have made it. And like you've seen how hard it was for me to, you know, miss school, miss family events, miss birthday parties to make it. And, you know, I don't know if she would have been able to do that. And she has great qualities in other things, but we're just so different. And in this like discipline, like athletic hard work stuff, I'm definitely the one who got that gene because I just was obsessed from a young age.
Yeah. There's no telling if she would have enjoyed the journey either.
Right. Or been able to, to put in the discipline day in, day out. She was more social. She, you know, finds the value and enjoys her time more with like friends and cultivating that stuff. And she's an influencer now. So that's like more her world. And, you know, that's stuff that I don't spend my day doing. And so we're just so different. So yeah, I think her time was ultimately better spent doing what she did because she loves it more.
Yeah, it's cool like watching your interviews. Well, except for the one that was on part of my take, but like I mean
Why?
that was a good interview, but you were very loose in that. But then like the other interviews, you talk about like your discipline, your passion, and like your drive. But then when I just saw you on the pickleball court, you just looked like you were having tons of fun. You were like smiling. You were just like you weren't hard on yourself, and that could be also because you had a tennis career and you had plenty of time to be hard on yourself. And I think you just kind of maybe learned like, okay, the better outcome might be if I actually like am more optimistic and lighter.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll never not be hard on myself. So, you know, when I'm out there on the court, I want to win. I just hate losing so much. But I really had a fun partner. Yates is so fun to play with, and he like cracks jokes and like makes it lighthearted, and I can be a very serious person, so I actually think it's helpful to have a partner that kind of has this opposite effect on me, and I can remember to just relax and be a little lighter. We were joking around, but like we wanted to win so badly, and we had a crazy comeback, and that was like the longest pickleball match I've ever played. It was like an hour and a half. And poor Yates was like running back and forth and all over the place, like getting, except for those couple lobs, he was getting most of them except for a couple. And so I was like, this is the most physical pickleball match we both ever played. So that was just a crazy fun one that I'm still like high on adrenaline right now.
I bet. I mean, I was taking photos and videos during the singles match, and the singles match I think that was center court. Yeah. And there's like no one there. Yeah. And there's not like you could hear a pin drop. That game, you just looked very more like dialed everything, just a little more calm.
Yeah, 'cause I'm just by myself, so I'm just so serious, you know. With a partner, at least I can like relax a little bit. But yeah, I was also first match on, so now I think there's a couple more people because we're more later in the afternoon, and you know, people like to walk by kind of the smaller courts to see multiple matches, and so it's kind of a fun vibe being out there.
Yeah. But I noticed like do you have a coach for pickleball?
Well, so that's something I don't have like a coach. I have people that kind of like have helped me out. A couple people who work for the PPA tour have, you know, come over to see me and help me with technique. I've worked with Dave Fleming, who's the commentator guy. Dylan, who works for the PPA, has also come out to help me. And then some just like kind of the older players like Ryan Cherry. He's kind of my go-to like buddy on tour where we practice together, and he'll sometimes come over to Miami and train me. But it's something I wasn't really used to because I kind of asked, I was like, okay, are there pickleball academies? Are there pickleball coaches? And it's a little bit less kind of solidified than tennis because it's such a new sport, at least at the elite level. So I'm used to traveling with a coach and even like a trainer and other people. And now it's like, oh yeah, like people do that a lot less in pickleball. And I was surprised. So sometimes once in a while, I have my mom come. And besides that, it's just me. And I just practice with my doubles partner or my mixed doubles partner or my friend Ryan.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing the benches like empty. Yeah. Like there's very few that they'll have like random things like maybe a strength and conditioning coach or maybe like their mental coach.
Right.
What is one thing that your training partners who have been helping you acclimate to pickleball have been telling you or teaching you, showing you?
So some stuff about the strategy, like you said, I think in tennis I had really good like instinctive kind of tactical awareness. Like I would see the court well, I would see where there's like openings, go to those openings. So pickleball is a little different for me because the ball moves differently, right? So it's like even if you see the open court in singles, you can't just like blast a winner as much as you could do in tennis. And so it's about learning how to play more with finesse, with touch, and with finding those gaps. And so today with Yates, you know, sometimes we're like, okay, we got to go behind the guy. So because he's always trying to cover the middle. And so like sometimes it's kind of scary to like go to the guy, but then I try to hit it at the guy or even dink to him and he's a little caught off guard, and that gives us a better ball for the next shot. So just like kind of small things like that, which I've not been used to in tennis, just being aware of those things.
Yeah. What does practice look like for you?
So practice is, I want to try practice more like doubles and mixed doubles because that's where I feel like I'm have weaknesses I want to improve. Singles is obviously the closest to tennis, so it's where I feel most comfortable. So for me, it's all about like practicing at the kitchen line, dinks all day long, practicing playing points where if I do a bad dink or one that sits a little bit high, we get killed, right? And so I need to learn that, and that just teaches me not to do that.
What are your thoughts on pickleball in the Olympics? Because you've played in the Olympics representing Canada. Was it
2016?
2016.
Rio 2016, okay. Yeah. Oh, 100%. We need them in the Olympics. LA 2028. I will be the #1 supporter for that and try help pickleball get that. I think, there are so many crazy sports in the Olympics. The fact that pickleball is like the fastest growing sport in the US and that it's not in the Olympics, I think it deserves to be compared to so many of the other sports that are already in there. So we just got to keep pushing, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely want to ask you about is your paddle.
Yes.
The guys over
Our
at
third
Versix,
person in the sitting right here.
get him a mic. Versix like sent me a paddle, and they're like, "Hey, just give it a shot." And then I was like, "Cool, yeah, I'll give it a shot." And I was using a couple of different paddles, and they're probably in like the higher price range. And as far as like, they're pretty like ubiquitous. You'd see them on a lot of courts. And then I started playing with that. I was like, I actually like really like this. I usually play with a 16. This is a 15 millimeter. Everything felt great. I thought the shape was like gonna be odd, and then I played with it. I was like, this is it. This is awesome. And then I talked to them on the phone, and then they were like, this is actually a $130 paddle. And I was like, that's also insane.
Yeah.
So like, you tell me about not just the design, but also like the thought behind the paddle, the thought behind the like mission behind the paddle as well.
Yeah. So I'm so happy to be partnered with Versix, of course. So we came out with my signature paddle, which has a couple of details that I prefer for me as a tennis player coming to pickleball. So I can explain those quickly. Number one, the grip is longer. I use a two-handed backhand in tennis, and it's something I have kept in pickleball because I've just done that for 25 years. I'm like, there's no way I'm changing this now. So we adapted that so I could have more space to put both my hands on the grip. And then another thing is, the racket shape, or the head shape rather, is a little more like, kind of more like a tennis racket. It's not like looking like a pickleball paddle, but it's more like a tennis racket. We kind of tried to make a tennis racket for the pickleball court, which is what will help me the most. And then there's like really good grit, which they've improved, and that helps me like get the spin I need because I'm used to playing with something that has strings, obviously. And so to add that on the paddle has been super helpful because I can still kind of play tennis wise, but like adjust for the pickle court. And then of course, I think it's so important that like it's in a low price range. I think it should be affordable for everyone to be able to go and play. I think some of the prices of paddles are kind of ridiculous, and I'm so proud to be partnered with someone who makes it like available for everyone. And I think then everyone can play.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think like affordability is huge, especially in a sport that's so accessible to a degree. It's not very exclusive.
Exactly. We need the paddles to be as accessible.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is it also comes in blue if you're not a pink person.
Nah, I want the pink.
Yeah, see, I love pink, and I was like, make me a pink paddle, please.
Yeah.
So they came out with this version, and they came out with like a baby blue one, which Blaine, another PPA player, plays with. So he plays with my signature paddle. So when we play together, it's so cute because I have the pink one, he has the blue one. So whatever color you like, we have options.
Blaine is like a drastically different partner from Yates, I feel like.
Yes.
He's just constantly yelling at himself, like, come on, come on. He's like saying in different languages. He's saying like dale and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
he throws
what
out like the Spanish, like vamos and vamoose. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he also plays big too. He's like loud on the court, and his game is loud. He has the huge serve, the huge shots, the huge reach, by the way.
Yeah.
Like this guy's wingspan is crazy. So different. And but Yates is like so athletic, like running, getting all the balls, doing amazing dinks, and really good strategy wise.
No, that was awesome to watch. Question about the paddle is like, I feel like people always ask like, who is this paddle for? They might throw in words like maybe control or power, or maybe like someone with like touch or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who do you think that this paddle is for?
Well, so the newest version that they've just sent me, and they've been kind of constantly improving it, sometimes with my feedback, sometimes with not. So I feel like we've increased the power of this. I asked for a little more weight in the handle, and with the face as well, I think it's really good power-wise. Like I was serving today, and even my mixed doubles opponent was like, you got some heat on your serve, and I was like, okay, thank you, I'll take that. But I also feel like I did dinks today as well, and I was able to have that control that I need. So, I feel good. I'm not a totally all-around player because my net game needs some work, but like for a player like me who likes to hit the ball but also wants to feel secure on the dinks, it was helping me a lot today.
Yeah. I'm always curious about like sponsorships and those decisions. Like you've obviously had different sponsorships over the course of your tennis career. You were with like Coca-Cola, and then now more, I guess like you've been with New Balance for how long?
Yeah, I just re-signed with them this year. I was with them for 3 years, and I re-signed for another 3 years. So this is my 4th year, I guess. Yeah.
Gotcha. There's probably a ton of companies in the pickleball space that were like reaching out to you. How did you land and make that decision to work with Versix?
Well, so my initial just kind of opening into the whole professional tour here was through the PPA, and so they presented me a bunch of different paddles that I could start trying, and I just immediately liked how close this was to a tennis racket for me, and knowing that it was also like the Pickleball Central brand, their house brand, and the super affordable one, and something that I could also have input on kind of adjustments. It just kind of made it a no-brainer that I could have my own signature paddle with them.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep looking at it like it's a little baby, my little baby.
It's very quiet today.
Yeah, I know.
It was very loud earlier.
She's shy.
Yeah. On the topic of pickleball, like I've seen like on your Instagram, you've done work with a foundation and you've also done work with like Meals on Wheels, but in your tennis career, you had 2014 Wimbledon finalist, the Rio 2016 Olympics. Like what impact do you want to have on pickleball, and like what are your aspirations for pickleball?
That's a great question. Well, I'm first of all just so excited to be part of something that's so like growing and trending, and like people, I mean, everyone I know is just obsessed with pickleball, and so I'm just proud to be a part of such a fast-growing kind of corporation. And beyond that, it's similar to, I guess, my goals with tennis, where it's like if I can inspire anyone to get out on the court and play, to me, I've like done my job, right? And it's like even if it's not necessarily pickleball, even if it's tennis, or even if it's another sport, just getting outside, being active, playing a sport, to me is a huge success. And that's what I always said I wanted to do with tennis. And now that I have my, feet in both areas, I feel like a neutral arbitrator, because I know some people in tennis hate on the pickle and vice versa, and I'm like, hey, we can both coexist. We can actually be beneficial for each other. We can all be friendly. And I'm like, in the tennis world, if someone goes from tennis to pickleball, that's great. Someone can start out with pickleball and then go to tennis. So it's like we can be mutually beneficial. I don't know why we have to like kind of be competitive with each other. I think there's enough space out there for tennis and pickleball to thrive.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, that like it's cool that you can be an advocate for both, because you're like still actively, like when was the last time you played in a tennis event?
Yeah, I played a few weeks ago at the big event we have in Toronto, the National Bank Open. So yeah, I'm switching back and forth all year long, and so it's pretty cool to be like a professional in two sports. And so I'm very much like, hey, they're both great and they can both help each other. And if I can bring tennis fans over to pickleball, if I can help pickleball grow, that's one of my goals as well. If I can inspire kids to play, that's one of my goals. And let's just see where we can take it.
Have you sometimes been getting confused when you're playing tennis and you're like running up to the net and you're like, oh my God, the kitchen. You're like, wait, no, there's no kitchen.
It's interesting. I really have to like rewire my brain every time I like switch sports. It's tough. So like when I go from pickle to tennis, in tennis, I'll start hitting the ball close to me, because pickleball, you hit it closer. But then at the net, I'll feel kind of more comfortable because I just spent, weeks doing dinks. And then when I go back to when I go back to pickleball, then I'm like, ooh, the court's so small and everything's like so much easier. But then I'm like, oh my God, then I have to do these dinks that I haven't done in tennis. So it's like there's some things that mess me up and there's some things that help each other. But it is different. People thought like, oh, I'd be amazing at pickleball right away. And I'm like, guys, it's a completely different skill set. It would be an insult to the other professionals if I thought I could come in and win playing pickleball for 1 month when they've been playing for 5 years or 10 years. Yeah. So I need time to keep getting better. But the professionals here are so good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. In another conversation, you've talked about like tennis removing challenges, which removes some things like anticipation, curiosity, and like controversy behind a line call. Mm-hmm. What rules within pickleball would you want to see maybe altered or changed?
Well, number one, for the umpires to call the balls. Having the players call the ball, I think to me is tough, because it just makes it more personal, and in tennis, we haven't had that since the juniors, right? So I'm like, if we want to be grow and be more as a seen more as a professional sport and become bigger and better, I think it's important to just have basic professional standards in place. And I think having the line calls being called, number one. Ball boys would be nice. I'm kind of tired of picking up my own balls here. It's been a while since I did that in tennis as well. So I think that's good. I think I love the video review. I would love it if it was just able to like happen faster, because sometimes it takes the length of like a whole timeout or like even longer, and you're kind of like, it kind of changes the course of the match, possibly. But yeah, you know, just like, not that tennis is the be all end all. There's things with tennis that should totally be improved, but it is like the premier racket sport. And so if there's little things that pickleball can take from that, I think it would just be beneficial.
Yeah. I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
What is up with you dipping pizza in soy sauce?
I know, crazy, right? Are you one of my haters about that?
I haven't actually tried it yet, so I can't hate on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a specific pizza? Is it like cheese or is it pepperoni and you dip it in the soy sauce?
You know, I don't even know how I had that idea, but I think I was just like, so I'm more of a salty like person. I don't like if you give me a bag of chips or a chocolate bar, I'll have the bag of chips all day long. So I was having pizza and I was like, I wish I could make this saltier. And for some reason, I think I had just had like sushi right there. And I was like, let me just try this. And, you know, I posted it and I thought it wasn't a big deal at all. And people lost their minds. And I was like, you guys are taking this way too personally. Like, I literally am like hungover just trying to dip my pizza in soy sauce. Like, chill out. And then what's that famous brand of soy sauce? Kikkoman or something?
Yeah.
So then like the CEO of Kikkoman tweets me back a video where he dips his pizza in his soy sauce. And then at the very end of the video, he does a slight nod. And I'm like, that means approval. So I'm sorry. If he approves it, then you all should. So I don't want to hear any more hate.
You're just like merging all these different cultures and sports
yeah,
together.
We're all becoming friends.
Oh, speaking of like social media, you've had a few like controversial things, and you were on another podcast, you were on another podcast where you're like catching flack for having this photo that online that some people believe were like too sexual. But yeah, like what advice would you tell like younger women who like maybe in your position who you've talked about it before where you're like, well, if we have this asset, why don't we use it? And it's like, there are different human, like male and females are completely different. Mm-hmm. And there are different advantages to being like a male or a female. So like, why not use those like traits or.
Totally. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I don't know which specific controversial post you're talking about because there's been so many, I can't keep track. But
such a controversial person.
Yeah, you know, sometimes people just get really intense about the whole like female thing. And you know, years ago, and I actually talked about this on a podcast recently where it was like the whole twirlgate thing where there was a reporter who asked me to like twirl for my outfit, and people got really like offended on my behalf. And I was like, I thought my outfit was so cute. I was like happy to show it off, you know? And so it's kind of like the mentality of like, why not be everything you can be? And I think, you know, at the end of the day, sex sells. It does. That's just a fact of life. And if, you know, girls look cute in their outfits and, you know, want to, you know, explore that path and want to be in, I don't know, fashion magazines or swimsuit magazines, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it can help your brand, help your exposure, and help the sport too. It would bring eyeballs and fans of people who would maybe not normally watch tennis, who maybe read Vogue magazine or maybe read SI, and then they're suddenly tuning into a tennis match because they saw you in there. And I think it's just helpful for the individual and for the sport at whole. And I think there's nothing wrong with using what you've got to achieve your goals.
Sunday yard work.
Yeah.
You know, the best was when Sam Querrey like reposted it.
That was insane. I had no idea he was doing that, by the way, and I didn't even know when he posted it. Literally, my agent texted me and was like, "Check your Instagram." And this was 2 hours after. Like, I was busy. I hadn't even checked Instagram, and I literally started screaming at my phone because I couldn't believe what he did. And so now I'm really tempted to do something like crazy and see if he's gonna take the bait and recreate it again. Like, I want to see how far he's gonna go.
I think he's gonna match like. Yeah,
I think he will because he's also trying to just use me for clout and followers. Let's just be honest. And, you know, it made a funny story, so I'm okay with it. And I'm friends with Sam. And I'm like, look, if I help you get like 1,000 followers, like, it's fine.
Yeah. Just Venmo me later.
Exactly.
If I looked at your Spotify, what song would I find at the top?
Okay, you're going to find a lot of Morgan Wallen at the top.
Okay.
I went to Stagecoach in April, and I am really have gotten into country recently. I also feel like country has really become popular, and modern country and like rap country and all these like versions of it are coming out. And so, I'm shamelessly a country gal. In Canada, there's a big event in the summer. It's called the Calgary Stampede, and so I want to do that next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen, is he the one who sings Chasing You?
Yeah.
That's a good song.
That is
Zach
a good song.
Bryan's also really cool.
Yeah.
What are you watching at the moment besides pickleball?
I wish I had time to watch anything. I know that's such a terrible answer. Oh my God, I recently watched, this is so random, but like, remember the whole, like, the documentary, the Ashley Madison documentary?
I think so. Ashley Madison was the app?
Yeah, or like the website that like helps people cheat or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's like a 3-episode docuseries, and I just watched the first one. And I didn't even have time to watch the rest, but I just watched the first one. And that's the last time I watched something. I'm really like, I've been so busy recently, I haven't been able to watch TV shows, but I'm going to take 2 weeks off in September, and I'm going to get into like a nice Netflix groove. So if you have any recs, please let me know.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the like they turned it into a show. It's got like Donald Glover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love
That's
him.
a good show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, The Bear.
Yeah, everyone has been telling me to watch that. I
Absolutely.
have not, but I've gotten that before.
Yeah, you're gonna need like 2 weeks because you're gonna like go through it, and then you're gonna need like a mental recovery period.
After The Bear?
Yeah, it's
intense?
season 2.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna need. So you've traveled to like Panama, Aspen, Rome, Dubai, the Cliffs of Moher. Is there a place you haven't been yet that you would like to go to?
That's also a great question. I've been many places. I would love to go to South Africa. I've only been to, where have I been? I went to Morocco once, and that's pretty much all I've done in Africa. We don't have many tournaments there. Most of my travels obviously are for tennis. Very rarely do I travel for vacation. I don't often get that luxury, but I would love to do a safari in South Africa. I know that is probably pretty basic, but it's on my list.
No, 100% go.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you can go to like Tanzania and you can go to the Serengeti. It's great. So as someone who's been ranked the #1 by Sports Pro in their world's 50 most marketable athletes in 2015 list, what would you say like contributed to that, and what advice would you give to like stand out?
So, I mean, obviously you need success at what you do first and foremost. At the end of the day, tennis has been my job and my #1 job, and has led me to other opportunities, but it's because I performed well in tennis that I even got those other opportunities. Secondly, I mean, for me, in my story, I would say I kind of started having success with the rise of social media, and I was using it in a very natural and authentic way. So growing up, for us, I don't know, you look younger than me, but we had Facebook. And so me and my friends and my sisters and my brother, we would all post on Facebook about whatever silly stuff we were doing. And then I started, having success with tennis, started becoming in the public eye. I got Twitter, I got Instagram, and I kind of kept posting on those platforms the way me and my friends and siblings would do on Facebook. And I would like take a selfie here and like do something silly over there. And instead of just being so boring of like, okay, this is a picture from practice and this is like, a sponsor post or whatever, I was just really like myself. And I think people appreciated that because it was really more authentic than people expected. And, I went to the Vatican in Rome and I took a selfie where I got the Pope in the background, and like people lost their minds. And I was like, if I was just here with my family on vacation, I would be doing the exact same thing. Like, this is who I am. This is what I would be doing. And I think people saw that and appreciated it. And I think that helped my social media grow, which helps, marketing. It's all about that. My agent says the #1 thing brands ask for when they talk to him, and probably every agent in the world, is what are their social media numbers. And so that's really important.
Shout out to the Pope.
Yeah, he got me. He helped me a lot. I owe him. I should Venmo him.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to talk about?
No, these are super fun questions, actually. This has been like way more fun than a standard boring interview.
That's extremely relieving. I could literally go home now. Like,
okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, no.
No, thank you like so much for your time.
Of course.
Made this super easy. Watching you play was like super cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Of course. Thank you for having me.